Hibernate lifecycle in Hibernate. Here you can see Hibernate lifecycle. Here we will talk about Hibernate lifecycle, or in other words, we can say that we can talk about the lifecycle of the mapped instances of the entity object classes in Hibernate. In Hibernate, we can either create a new object of an entity and store it into the database, or we can fetch the existing data of an entity from the database. This entity is connected with the lifecycle, and each object of entity passes through the various stages of the lifecycle. There are mainly 4 states of the Hibernate lifecycle: transient state, persistent state, detached state, removed state. The transient state is the first state of an entity object. When we instantiate an object of Pojo class using the new operator, then the object is in the transient state. This object is not connected with any Hibernate session. As it is not connected to any Hibernate session, so this state is not connected to any database table. So if we make any changes in the data of the Pojo class, then the database table is not altered. Transient objects are independent of Hibernate and they exist in the heap memory. There are 2 layouts in which transient state will occur as follows. 1. When objects are generated by an application but are not connected to any session. 2. The objects are generated by a closed session. Persistent state. Once an object is connected with the Hibernate session, then the object moves into the persistent state. So there are 2 ways to convert the transient state to the persistent state. 1. Using Hibernate session, save the entity object into the database table. 2. Using the Hibernate session, load the entity object into the database table. Following are the methods given for the persistent state. Session.persist, session.save, session.save or update, session.merge, session.lock. Detached state. For converting an object from persistent state to detached state, we either have to close the session or we have to clear its cache. As the session is closed here or the cache is cleared, then any changes made to the data will not affect the database table. Whenever needed, the detached object can be reconnected to a new Hibernate session. To reconnect the detached object to a new Hibernate session, we will use following methods as follows: merge, update, load, refresh, save, following are the methods used for the detach state: session.detach, session.evict, session.clear, session.close. Removed state. In Hibernate lifecycle, it is last state. The removed state when the entity object is deleted from the database, then the entity object is known to be in the removed state. It is done by calling delete operation. As the entity object is in the removed state, if any change will be done in the data will not affect the database table. Note, to make a removed entity object, we will call session.delete method. Here you can see a new instance of entity is passed to transient state. Garbage is passed from transient state. Transient state is connected to persistent state. Save, persist, and save or update and update methods are passed from transient state to persistent state. Get and load methods are passed to transient state. Transient state is connected to removed state. Delete method is passed from transient state to removed state, and removed state is there. Garbage is from removed state, and transient state interacts with detached state. Detach, close, clear, and evict methods are passed from transient state to detached state. Save or update, merge, and lock methods are from detached state to persistent state. Garbage is from detached state. Now this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for watching it.